Do you want to know the secret how to grow on Pinterest in 2022? Maybe you're new to Pinterest or you've been trying to grow your account for a while, but nothing seems to work. Or you're brand new on Pinterest and you want to learn the most efficient way to grow a massive Pinterest account. Then don't worry. Today I'm going to reveal the 6 simple strategies you can follow that I believe can get your account up to those 10 million monthly views in 2022. And I promise it has nothing to do with magic or the algorithm favoring someone over you personally, but it has all to do with strategy. Now, if that sounds good to you, then keep watching. Hi there, my name is Katie and I'm a Swiss blogger and Pinterest marketing teacher here on YouTube. I teach passionate online entrepreneurs like you how you can use Pinterest to grow your blog. So let's reach your Pinterest goals together today. Now, maybe you think you've tried it all, pinning more, pinning less, changing your pin colors, rearranging your boards, looking at your competition, using a scheduler, pinning manually, adding keywords, trying hashtags. I totally get it. Sometimes it can feel like we are putting all this effort into our social media and nothing is working. Now, I promise you this vicious cycle can stop. It's totally possible to grow your account organically without it having to be so freaking hard. For example, when I started my Pinterest account, I thought I had to play the follow-unfollow game to grow my account. You know that shady strategy when you follow a bunch of people so they follow you back only so you can unfollow them again? Super annoying. And it's not working long term. It's plain and simple a waste of your time. Now today I'm going to share with you 6 strategies that actually help you grow your Pinterest account without trying to somehow beat the system. We're talking about giving Pinterest and the people using the platform what they actually want from you. You're going to grow faster, easier, and more authentically. Now if that sounds good to you, then keep watching. And before we jump in, make sure you grab yourself access to my free blogger resource library. It contains over 30 plus blogging and Pinterest related downloads you can access immediately once you grab your password. Grab your free Pinterest guides, checklists, cheat sheets, and so much more so that there's nothing in the way of your Pinterest success. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's jump into step number 1 of your Pinterest strategy to 10 million views or whatever goal you've set yourself. So first, I recommend you start by looking at your audience. Before you start creating pins and content, think about your audience. Why is your target audience on Pinterest? What are their pain points? How can you solve their problems through your content or product? I always start by doing some research. Maybe look at your top sellers on your shop, your most successful blog posts, your competitor, and what type of things they are sharing. Or do you get emails with the same questions over and over again? These are the things you'll need to keep in mind when you create content in one of the next steps. I recommend creating a list of questions you get, the pain points you hear, and their struggles. Really get clear on who your audience is and why they need your help. In step 2, I want you to think about what content and products to create for Pinterest. We're not yet creating anything. We're just thinking about what could make sense. Coming up with ideas is so hard, but if you've finished with step 1 and you know exactly who your audience is, this will be so much easier. So first of all, create content and products that solve your audience's problems. A good way to start is to take a morning and go through Pinterest trends and Pinterest predicts and figure out trends and when things are peaking on Pinterest so you can serve your audience with relevant content at the right time. Let me show you Pinterest predicts in more detail real quick. Pinterest Predicts is a trends report Pinterest brings out at the beginning of every year. The report includes topics Pinterest thinks will trend during the year. The report is very specific and you can even sort it through your niche. So go to categories here and then you can see different niches here. I will link to this report in the description below so you can check it out as well. This report is extremely accurate, so it can be a great source of ideas for content or products to create for the year. So have a look at all these trends Pinterest thinks are gonna trend in 2022. And when you've done that, I also recommend you do some competitor research on Pinterest. Try to find 5 to better 10 competitors in the same niche doing a great job on Pinterest. Now, Now, why do you think their content and products are great? What type of content are they creating and what are the topics? This is really helpful to get an even better feel of what you should be making for your audience. I don't want you to spend time creating products or blog posts no one in your audience cares about. If you spend time doing something, it should be with a purpose. Okay, now that you've done all this research, in step 3, it's time to create your content and your products. A really important thing to understand about Pinterest is that it wants fresh, new content regularly. This does not mean mass producing blog posts, products, or creating dozens of pins every day. But Pinterest wants new ideas on the platform to keep users engaged and coming back. People don't come back to see the same banana recipe every day. They want new recipes using bananas. And that's just a metaphor that you can apply for your niche as well. If you have a blog, a podcast, a YouTube channel, that's phenomenal because you're doing just that. You're creating new regular content. If you're a shop, the question is, can you make unique jewelry or digital downloads or whatever you sell regularly? If yes, amazing. You've got enough content to share. If not, you may want to start a blog or one of the things I mentioned before too, where you also share regular content. In this content, you can promote your products and serve your audience. I recommend you focus on creating one really incredible piece of content a week. Again, podcast episodes, YouTube videos, in-depth Instagram posts or blog articles. Something super valuable that solves a problem, inspires, or educates. Coming up with ideas for that should be relatively easy if you've gone through step 1 and 2. In my strategy for step 4, we're finally getting into some Pinterest action. It's time to create pins. Each pin you create should be connected to one piece of content that you created. So if you have, for example, a blog post about nail art trends in 2022, you can create a pin that leads back to that piece of content. Now, there are 2 factors I would like you to consider before you create your pins. First, what form of pin you're going to use, and second, what that pin communicates. So first, there are different pin types you can use to promote your content on Pinterest. There are regular article pins like these standard pins. There are video pins, there are idea pins, carousel pins, recipe pins, and product pins. Article, video, recipe pins, and product pins are particularly good for getting traffic, so clicks. Video pins are good for engagement, and idea pins are great for growing your audience, so followers. So make sure you choose a pin form that helps you with your business goal. After you've decided on a pin form, the second part is to think about what you're communicating on that pin. So let's say you want to get more people over to your website and you've decided to create a regular clickable article pin. Nothing wrong with that, they're still working. What are you going to write on that pin? If you're going to add a quote to that pin, maybe something you said in your blog post, there's a good chance you're not going to get any clicks, even though you've chosen an article pin, which I've just said is great for getting clicks. But the thing is, quotes work really well on Pinterest, but for views instead of clicks. You're gonna get a ton of engagement, likes, maybe comments and saves, but not clicks. So here's what you need to know. To get clicks on your article regular standard pin, you need to use language on your pins that include, for example, how-tos or lists. So for example, how to decorate your outdoor space for spring, or 7 weekend activities with kids. These are things people click on because they want to learn more. If you're a shop, you want to showcase your product on that pin so people can learn more on your site. Now, to get saves instead of clicks, if that's your goal, I recommend creating infographic pins or quotes. People love to save helpful content that gives them all the information they need straight on that pin, or they can use it to motivate themselves later, something like a quote. Now, to get engagement and followers instead of clicks and saves, I recommend creating idea pins and video pins. You want to share a how-to step-by-step or new idea in that video. People will comment, like, and share, and this is a great way to build an audience. The key here is to understand that different pins have different purposes, and it really comes down to your goal and what you communicate on that pin. Okay, you've got your content and your pins. Now, Now, how can you share them on Pinterest so they reach the most people and have the chance to go viral? Here is where the Pinterest algorithm comes in. So in step 5, it's time for Pinterest SEO. I've got a whole video on Pinterest SEO and all the things I recommend you do. It's pretty technical, but personally, I like that. It gives me more security that I know I'm doing the best to promote this pin that I put the time and effort in to create. So let me give you a quick idea here, and if you want to dive deeper into it, go watch that video here above. So Pinterest is a visual search engine. You can type a keyword in the search bar here, and Pinterest will show you relevant pins. So if I type in spring outfits, you can see that Pinterest shows me relevant pins for that keyword. You want to show up with your pins when people type in relevant keywords to your niche. So I recommend starting a list with keywords you want to target. Then add those keywords all over your account and your pins. Add 2 to 3 relevant keywords to your profile description. Create Pinterest boards relevant to your niche and add keywords to the board descriptions. Then when you upload your pins to Pinterest, add the relevant keywords to the pin description and the pin title as well, and you should be good to start with Pinterest SEO. And finally, in step 6, it's time to connect even further with your audience. Pinterest goes back and forth with how much of a search engine or social media they want to be. Right now, they focus a lot more on connecting the content creator with their audience, so being more of a social media seems to be the trend. That's why in our final step, I recommend you start showing your personality on Pinterest, and specifically through idea pins to grow your account. Idea pins are similar to Instagram stories, but they don't disappear after 24 hours. But instead of focusing on your life in your idea pin like you would in an Instagram story, for example, the purpose of an idea pin is to showcase an idea over a series of slides, like you can see here. You can click through the slides with the arrows you can see here. I love to use short videos for this. Create something that would help or inspire your audience and deepens that connection with them. Pinterest idea pins are currently the best way to grow an audience on Pinterest. So it's the final thing I'm personally focusing on in my 2020 Pinterest strategy. And I would also highly recommend you start testing them out yourselves. Check out this video on creating idea pins step by step if you want to learn more.
What about that? I hope you know now exactly how you can grow your Pinterest account in 2022 and reach those magic 10 million monthly views. As you can see, it doesn't include shady strategies or spending hours on Pinterest following people or commenting or DMing. It's all about figuring out what people are interested in and then sharing the best possible content. And then continuing to create more of what's already working. Give the people what they want and you'll have no problem growing your account in 2022. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell below so you don't miss any of my videos. 80% of people watching my videos aren't subscribed, so please make sure you do. It's really the best way you can support me and my small business so I can continue to post a new video for you every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching, and that's it from me for today. So talk to you soon. Tschüss!